Disclaimer: this product was provided to the author to do a review. All opinions are 100% authors and authors alone. To have your product reviewed, visit bit.ly/reviewmyproduct.
Hello everyone, this is Ahmad Kazim from dragonblogger.com, and this is a video review of the Apacer Panther Rage DDR4 RAM. I did a separate unboxing video on the RAM. If you haven't checked that out, I'll mention the link in the description. But still, for the purpose of this review, let's talk about the RAM a little bit. So Apacer sent us two of this RAM so we could run them in dual channel. Each stick is 8 GB in capacity, runs at 2400 MHz at CL16 timing at 1.2 volts. A little bit about the body. The heatsink is made out of aluminum, got Panther written on both sides, and there's this LED tube on the top. If you didn't know, the Panther Rage is actually an upgrade to Apacer's Panther series. The only difference is that the original Panther didn't have these LED tubes on top, but we have them on the Panther Rage. So let's go ahead and talk about the performance of the RAM. Once I installed the RAM onto the motherboard, it booted without any problem whatsoever. And since my XMP profile was already enabled, it was running at its rated speed of 2400 MHz. This is the configuration of the test rig. We are using an overclocked Core i5 6600K at 4.5 GHz and Asus Z170P motherboard for this review. Well, following are the results of our benchmarking test with the Apacer Panther Rage, and this is from the stock speed. As we can see, it's right between the 2133 MHz and the first 3000 MHz RAM in the list, and that's exactly where it should be. Also, the margin of improvement over 2133 RAM seems good. Now let's talk about the overclocking. But before we begin, I would like to mention that the performance of the RAM may vary from PC to PC and stick to stick as well. So the voltage and the clock speed and the RAM timing I provided to the RAMs might not work on your system. So when it comes to overclocking, I was able to push the RAM to 2700 MHz without even increasing the voltage from 1.20, but that wasn't a stable overclock. I was able to get a stable overclock of 2800 MHz at 1.30 DRAM volts at CL16, 16, 16, 36, 2T. Anything tighter and there would be BSODs or crashes. Since I was able to achieve 2800 MHz at 1.3 volts, I was looking forward to achieve 3000 MHz near 1.35 volts, but sadly that wasn't the case. I wasn't able to achieve a stable 3000 MHz overclock even at 1.41 volts, and going beyond just didn't seem right to me, so I decided to stick with the 2800 MHz. So how much performance boost did we get out of the 400 MHz overclock? Well, it came very near to the 3000 MHz RAM performance. The Panther Rage at 2800 MHz had almost similar performance as the 3000 MHz RAM in some of the benchmarking tests like PI and the RAR test. Well, now we know that Apacer Panther Rage is a good performance RAM respective to the speed it's running at. It almost beats some of the 3000 MHz RAM running at 200 MHz lower. The Apacer Panther Rage 8 GB stick cost about $64, so 16 GB would set you back about $128. At this price point, you can buy yourself 16 GB of 3000 MHz RAM, non-LED of course, or even at less. Or you can add up a few more bucks and buy yourself the G-Skill Trident Z RGB RAM if you fancy some LEDs. So Apacer do need to make their price point more appealing, seeing how competitive the market is right now. So that pretty much concludes the review of Apacer Panther Rage. Now we know that this RAM does not only look good, but it's also able to perform on par with some higher clocked RAMs. The only sad part about the Apacer Panther Rage that I found was most of the 3000 MHz RAMs are running at 1.35 volt, but with Apacer Panther Rage I wasn't able to get a stable overclock of 3000 MHz even at 1.41 voltage. that's like 0.06 volt higher. So yeah, but still we were able to squeeze out 400 megahertz out of these RAMs. It's definitely not the best overclocking RAM out there, but it's still not that bad either. And we also have a little bit of overclocking headroom with this RAM. And when it comes down to the body and the LED effects of the RAM, they look great and will become a part of your system pretty easily. So in the end, I would like to rate the Apacer Panther Rage 4 out of 5 stars. Do let me know if you've got any questions about the RAM. I'll try to get back to you as soon as possible. Ahmed Kazim out.